Breakfast and lunch are two of the most important meals of the day, especially for students. But many kids across Philadelphia, they're not getting the nutrition they need to succeed, and not necessarily because they don't have access to food programs. According to a new study from Temple University, many actually do. Joining me now is Dr. Gabriella McLoughlin, an assistant professor at Temple and director of the university's RISE research program. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. So first off, what did you learn about Philadelphia's universal school meal program and the main reasons why student participation is dropping?
Yeah, so first of all, Philadelphia is doing above and beyond to try to meet the needs of the students in the city and the families in their communities. The Universal School Meals Program is a federal provision, so any school in the country, in any district with more than 25% of their students who are classified as low income are able to receive free breakfast and free lunch every day. And so many schools and districts around the country are actually already implementing this program, and Philadelphia is one of them. It was actually one of the pioneers of the program initially, and so one of the really great assets of this program in Philadelphia is that most people are really bought in, they're engaged, they are dedicated to feeding students. And so what our research was really hoping to do is try to identify some of the ways in which we could support the school district and work with them to try to improve and maximize the impact of this program. One of the downsides that we are seeing in our research and in other projects is that sometimes with older students, especially middle and high school students, there are a lot of social factors that come into play. And so there is still a little bit of embarrassment around eating school meals among certain students. And we tried to be really delicate about how we ask those questions among our students. Many of them would say, no, I don't feel stigmatized. And then we would ask them, is it sometimes embarrassing if somebody eats a school meal? And they would say, yes, sometimes. And so there's a lot of hidden issues that I think don't always come to the surface. And that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing. Another big issue is that we're just seeing there's not a lot of capacity. We have limited staffing, we have limited space, we have limited resources. Right. And the school district's fighting to get more, but it's really difficult to increase funding and support for this program.
Is this a citywide problem, or are there neighborhood-specific issues?
I think that from our research, we worked with a subsample of schools, so we can't say for sure. However, it seems to be that in schools which have predominantly satellite kitchens, which means they don't really have a full kitchen, they can't prepare their own food, it seems to be that that's a much bigger issue, because that means that we don't have as much space to prepare fresh food, and so lots of the times it's coming in, it's being brought in from outside vendors who are doing a great job. It's just when that food comes, it doesn't always look as appealing, as appetizing, but it is still the same quality. So unfortunately, we're seeing in predominantly elementary middle schools is happening because the high schools are bigger. I would also argue that in some of our community schools, which is about 20 schools across the city, they do have extra positions available to try to help out, and those are in our most impoverished neighborhoods. So we're thinking around, Temple area, North Philadelphia, West, some of the Northeast schools. So there are definitely people on hand to help in the highest needs areas. So I feel like the problem is still a little bit ubiquitous, though, around the whole city, which is really a shame because it has so much potential and there's people who are working really hard to make it work.
So what can the school district and other city leaders do to get more students involved in these programs?
Great question. And we're doing a trial right now to try to work with our schools to try out different strategies for improving uptake. But I really think that one of the things the school district and the city council leadership can do is try to, number one, change the narrative around school meals, really try to address issues of stigma and embarrassment and negative connotations around school meals, because this is the world's or the country's largest restaurant, right? Students eat here every day. And we have to change that narrative around school meals are nasty, or there's some narrative that people sometimes use that makes it more difficult for us to promote this program. I think also we would love to see some more resources, and not just money, but like personnel, attention, marketing, coordination. The school food service office in the district is very motivated, energized, and passionate about improving access. But sometimes we see places, offices like that operating in a bit of a silo, and they're not always given the resources that they need to really thrive and get the best outcomes possible. So yes, of course, money would be great, but we also want to think about how do we build capacity and make sure that everyone in the school district and the city knows what the school food service office is doing to really enhance this program and provide resources to them.
Such an important topic. Dr. Gabriella McLoughlin from Temple University, thank you so much for talking with us today and for what you guys are doing over there.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
For more information about the results of the study and how Temple collected their research, just tap the NBC 10 app or head to NBC10.com/findit on 10.